the 90s. It was cyber this, robo that. After the success of both the Terminator and RoboCop, there were a slew of low-budget cyber movies, Cyborg this, and in the midst of that we have Cyborg Cop, which was the first in a trilogy of movies. This one directed by Sam Fitzenberg, who directed the first American Ninja. And this one stars David Bradley, who also starred in the later sequels of American Ninja as Jack Ryan. No, not that Jack Ryan. We've also got John Rhys-Davies as our kind of bad guy, Kessel, who plays this weird, softly spoken Yorkshire crime boss in some type of Caribbean island making cyborgs and stuff. Weird setup. So basically we have an ex-D.E.A agent played by David Bradley. He essentially leaves the force after a kind of the press make him look like a fool, and his brother, who he was kind of partnered with, still carries on and goes on a mission and ends up getting captured by this kind of crime boss. Now, David Bradley is off the force at this point, so he goes on his own to try and find out what has happened to his brother, only to discover that John Rhys-Davies' bad guy Kessel is making cyborgs to sell off to the highest bidder, and his brother is the latest experiment. So, let's talk about what works first of all with Cyborg Cop. Little disclaimer, there's no cyborg cops in this movie. A little bit of a misleading title here. David Bradley never becomes a cyborg, and the cyborgs that we do have are not cops. There you go. We just have to say that. So, yeah, this is very typical of a kind of low-budget mid-90s action movie. Lots of petrol explosions, lots of kind of nameless bad guys getting kind of mown down, our hero never really kind of taking any damage, a hero managing to shoot every single bad guy just by spraying bullets, yet he never seems to kind of get hot itself. It is pure, cheesy hokum. But you can enjoy it for its out-and-out silliness. The conceit here is that obviously these cyborgs that are being sort of sold off to the kind of the highest bidder, but we really don't see much of the cyborg. We get our brother, who ultimately turns into a cyborg, and I guess you could call him the cyborg cop, since he is a DEA agent, but nonetheless he's barely in the movie, to be quite honest with you. We have a proper bad guy cyborg who is there, and you know, he's pretty invulnerable, like your Terminator. And there's a clunky fight scene with David Bradley in the middle of the movie, and another one kind of towards the end. There are kind of quite a lot of explosions. There's a kind of an assault on this base at the end, with lots of kind of buildings getting blown up and cars getting destroyed and things like that. So there is a fair amount of kind of destruction on the scene here, and a pretty high body count. David Bradley, obviously an accomplished martial artist, so we do get a bit of martial art hand-to-hand action as well, but not all that much as you might think. I mean, I thought he was pretty good in the, for example, American Samurai, which is a movie I legitimately enjoy, but here he actually comes across as somewhat of a sleaze. There's like a female reporter that he basically sort of sleazes onto. I don't know, mate. Again, it's the 90s. This is how things rolled back then, I suppose. The thing is with this movie, it is, like I mentioned, it is just cheese. There's no real sense of logic to it. I mean, you can watch it and just enjoy it for what it was, because I think back in the 90s, people really didn't pick apart movies like they do so much nowadays. And I have seen kind of some of these ironic reviews that just basically take a piss, but you can enjoy it for just a fun action movie, if you can kind of obviously bear in mind that obviously it is of its time. I will say the actual inclusion of the cyborgs are a missed opportunity, because we never really get the cyborg cop that we are promised, and the cyborgs that we do get really do not seem that threatening. David Bradley pretty much kicks the cyborg's ass twice without really any real problem, and the guy who's playing the cyborg almost moves around like Frankenstein, so he seems particularly kind of immobile and particularly unthreatening. I mean, sadly the guy who played the cyborg, the bad guy cyborg, passed away. This is his last movie, but there you go. So overall, it's pretty much a time capsule of the cheesy straight-to-DVD or straight-to-VHS, I suppose, back in those days. Little time capsule of a movie with just silly fun, without much thought going into plot, realism, and things like that, even character development. As I say, the David Bradley character, I've got to say, he's just a typical kind of badass who, you know, wears a leather jacket in the clearly burning sunshine, sleazes up to the kind of the female reporter, things like this, and doesn't take to authority kindly. Very, very typical. But yeah, it does have some cheesy fun to it, admittedly. But to be honest with you, there are better, lower budget science fiction, cyber movies, if you like. So I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.